Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Gentlemen, we meet again. And ladies, sorry. I do not care what is in between your legs. Believe me, could not care less. Let's watch. Let's go. Original link to the video, top description, Discord below that. Let's go.
Stephen Fry, you could have been the hot priest. Because is this true? You seriously went to have a meeting about becoming a priest?
Yes. When I was a teenager, I loved so much about the church. I loved the music, I loved the liturgy. Not a Catholic priest, an Anglican priest.
Of course, yes.
I lived in the country, beautiful architecture, wonderful music, everything about it. I just fancied the clothes. I knew I could deliver fantastic sermons.
Yeah.
So I was sent to see a bishop, the Bishop of Lynn, the suffragan Bishop of Lynn, who decided that I would make a wonderful priest if there weren't one small problem, and that is that I didn't believe in God. So I failed at the last moment.
I love that you got that far,
yeah,
that you got a meeting with the bishop.
Yeah,
and no one had asked you about the Jesus thing.
Yeah, yes. Well, I still do. I mean, I love church.
I want to know what he was like. He was real, right? Jesus. I just want to know, like, if it's so. I'm not a religious person, but if I could have, like, that easiest question, if you could have lunch with anyone living or dead, who'd you pick? I'd pick Jesus immediately, just to be like, what is it? What is it about you? What are you super charismatic or something? I don't know. I think about weird stuff like that.
Music. And I still do. I mean, I love church music, and I love the buildings. I love everything about it. I just can't quite take the whole story seriously. Well, I take it seriously, but I just don't.
Yes.
That final leap.
Yeah. There's probably quite a lot of vicars watching, going, "Yeah, I hear you."
I want to make a Catholic priest joke.
Stephen, right now, because you one of the earliest people on Twitter, you kind of really took it up. But now you have a kind of love-hate thing. Are you on it at the moment or off it at the moment?
Yes, I'm on it. I've been on it for some years still. But I suppose the difference is now that I don't really engage as much. You just can't. So if you think of it as a notice, you put the notice up on the notice board and then you run away before watching anybody read it. So I don't get, it's the comments and the unkindness. I'm very...
That's exactly what I do with YouTube.
sensitive. It's pathetic after all these years.
No, on Discord. You guys are unbelievably nice on the YouTube comments, but Discord, oof. Hooligans.
That I am. But I liken it to a swimming pool. People always say to me, oh, but 99% of all the comments you get are very friendly and nice. And I go, yeah, but if you said 99% of the swimming pool is clear, there's just one little turd in the corner, I still wouldn't get in the pool. It just ruins it for me, unfortunately.
Tell me on the Harry Potter audiobooks.
Oh, Lord, don't. Yes. Well, I mean, I love doing the Harry Potter books.
How many hours of Harry Potter have you done in total?
I can't remember.
There are Harry Potter audiobooks read. Oh my God, I just had a brain. I was like read by Stephen Fry.
It's 7 books, isn't it? It's a lot. And they got longer and longer each time from the first one onwards. And Joe Rowling was very convinced from the beginning that they should not be condensed or abridged, that they should be absolutely as she'd written them. Because she figured then, quite rightly, I think, that a lot of children would read them with their fingers going along, they'd listen to them rather, their fingers following the text. And that was a good way to reinforce reading, apart from anything else. So on the third one, I think it was, called The Prisoner of Azkaban, there would just happen to be a 3-word phrase that for some reason I couldn't get out of my mouth properly. It was Harry pocketed it. I still can't say it. Harry pocketed it.
Harry pocketed it?
I went like this for about 10 minutes. Harry pocketed it. The engineer was laughing. Everybody was laughing. I said, look, we'll park that. I'll try and solve it at lunchtime. No, at lunchtime, I called up Joe Rowling because she wasn't in the studio. And I said, Joe, would it be all right if instead of saying Harry pocketed it, could I say Harry put it in his pocket? Which I can say easily. And I could almost hear her smiling. And she said, no. And not only that, in the subsequent 4 Harry Potter books, she made sure the phrase Harry pocketed it was in there. So that was rather pleasing.
Now, talking of children's favourites, Harry Potter, the audiobooks. How many hours of Harry Potter did you have to read?
God, I think it's over 100, isn't it? Well, of course, when it started, my agent...
Oh, God, the 5th book.
called me up and said there's this book called Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. That's what it's called in England. In America, it's Sorcerer. Obviously, philosophers are rather frightening.
It's a sorcerer.
Anyway, it was a book, and so I read it, and there was this boy, and apparently he was a wizard, and I met the author, who's called Jo Rowling, and she was really nice, and we read the book, and she said, oh, I've actually, there's another one, there's a second one I've written. I said, good for you! Little realising what had happened, but over the years, this extraordinary phenomenon blossomed. There was and I loved reading them. Occasionally, there was a man stopped me in the street not long ago, and he shouted across the street, "My children go to bed with you." Please rephrase that.
Let's not forget your marvellous work in one of the most successful British films of all time. That film is Spice World. Yes.
Is that the morning show star host? Holly,
There you are, doing your cameo. Do you have any memory of that day at all?
It was done at the BBC, that's all. 'Cause that's all I can remember. In the BBC lobby, I think.
I'm pretty sure I was in that film as well.
Yeah, you were.
I was a judge or something.
Yeah.
I remember. They were the reason I did it, I don't know if you were the same, is because I had nephews and nieces, and if I hadn't done it, they would have killed me.
Exactly.
Because I could get their autographs. That's how huge they were. There was this period when they were bigger than anything on the planet, wasn't there?
Exactly.
And I remember Victoria Beckham came up. Not Beckham, she wasn't then. Victoria, whatever she was.
what is that? Is one of the songs? Oh, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Oh, tell me what you want. I wanna really, 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 dun. If you wanna be, all right.
Adam
is Posh Spice, I think her name was.
That's how
And she'd read one of my novels. She said, you wrote a book called The Hippopotamus. And I just fell in love completely. No. I just thought, what a brilliant, stylish, clever woman. Whatever you think, these Spice Girls, no, they've got something, I thought. And actually, I remember... the Prince of Wales had...
Still lying.
It was before Wikipedia, so how would she have looked it up? But there was the 50th. There was a special show for the 50th birthday of the Prince of Wales, Prince Charles, and they were on it, and I was emceeing it or whatever it was, hosting it, and there was a line-up afterwards. And they didn't care. That was all girl power, you know, and the Prince of Wales, and, oh, wonderful, lovely, thank you so much. And he got to them, and the first thing, Emma Bunting said to him, she said, oh, Sir Highness, sir, do you have a Prince Albert? And he said, yes, I'm his great-grandson, yes. No, do you have one? He said, well, he was the husband of Queen Victoria. No, but... And he looked at me completely baffled, and he didn't know what a Prince Albert was. So I had to say, well, sir, it's an item of intimate jewellery. He said, what do you mean? I said, no, further south. Is it called a Prince Albert? I said, yes. And he was like, oh my heavens, he had to have a lie down, I think. I admired the spunk, as it were, to how an Australian would put it, you know.
Or an American. You see, that didn't sound that weird for me until you guys told me what it means in your country.
It's an icebreaker.
Yeah.
Like I'm really spunky right now, you know?
How an Australian would put it, you know,
It's an icebreaker.
Yeah, to ask him...
I think we have a picture of the moment he met them. There he is.
Oh, that's me in the background.
Yes, everyone seems very distracted by Jerry. Prince Charles is just pointing at her absentmindedly.
Where are your eyes going?
He did tell me, I think it's okay to repeat this, but Prince of Wales did tell me once that the best piece of advice his father had ever given him, he said, when you're doing a photograph and you're doing a lineup and there are women, always look only into their eyes. Don't for a second let your eyes drop to their chest, because that's when the photograph goes on. And if you look, he's not looking down. All the rest of us, even us gay boys, are looking at him. very smartly listening to his father's advice.
Yeah, but people are insane. During Hamlet, there was a guy who lifted up his laptop, not his phone, his laptop, started doing the emails. And you just think,
Do you know that story about John Gielgud, who he was out rehearsing with someone and they put a pause in? He said, oh, no, you must never pause in the West End. Never pause. And they said, why not? He said, oh, I paused once. And I thought it would be a wonderful silence. And it was filled by a voice in the back row saying, oh, you beast, you've come all over my umbrella.
What?
Quickly tell the people the story of Christmas in Norfolk.
Oh, well,
which is amazing.
I did a line-up for a show once, and there was a royal presence, and the Prince of Wales said...
Sorry, he looks like my grandpa.
Once,
Rest in peace, my late grandpa.
There was a royal presence, and the Prince of Wales said, apparently you live in Norfolk, is it right? I said, well, I do have a place. It's not far from Sandringham, in fact, which is where the royal family have a house. And he said, oh, wonderful. I said, you should come visit me for Christmas. He said, that'd be lovely, lovely, lovely idea. Of course, I thought no more about it. And that Christmas, I had a real house full of friends, about 14 people, all squeezed together. And I'm a very early riser. I'm very much a lark, not an owl. And so I was up, and I was making eggs Benedict, I remember distinctly. And hollandaise sauce is a very, you have to concentrate. You have to get the melted butter into the egg yolk. You have to really thin, steady stream. The phone went. So I was going, somebody answer that! Please, somebody with... And they're all the 14 people showering, shagging, whatever they were doing. And nobody was... I'm sorry. Oh, I picked up the phone. Yes! They went, can I speak to Stephen Fry, please? And I said, yes, this is he. And he said, this is Prince of Wales here. And it was up my brain, a little part of my brain sent a signal to say, oh, fuck off, Rory. Then another part, because you always know when it's someone real, another part just overtook it and went, oh, hello, sir. He said, I was wondering about taking you up for that offer for tea. I said, well, that would be wonderful. When would you like? When's convenient for you? He said, well, what about New Year's Day? So I said, well, that would be fine. So I kind of put the phone down and thought, right. So I went into the hall and I shouted, a bit like Rick in The Young Ones, house meeting! And everybody sort of appeared at the top of stairheads, and I said, the Prince of Wales is coming for tea. And then everybody went, oh, my God. And then there was this fantastic sight, which I could have... I could have photographed, I should have done, of everybody, Hugh Laurie hoovering the carpet. So we're all making tea, all getting ready, the fire's burning, everything's completely ready, and we're all peeping out of the curtains like pathetic children, like that, and all these cars passing, and then eventually, two cars, crunch, everybody's disappeared except me. So the doorbell goes, and I think, I must play it cool. Otherwise, he'll think I'm really uncool. And so I count to 15, and the bell goes again, and I open it. And he goes, oh, hello, I hope you don't mind, I've brought my wife. And there's Princess Diana comes out of the shadows and goes, hello, Stephen. And I go, hello. And everybody comes down, and we have this tea party, and it's fantastic. And she's wearing cowboy boots, which suits her very well. He's not wearing cow boots, which suits him very well. It all goes fantastically. Everybody's having a great time. And then they go, and he says, thank you, everybody, says goodbye. And she holds in the doorway, and she says, I'm sorry we're going, but I'm quite glad we're going early, because it's Spitting Image on tonight. And I'm going to watch it in my room. They hate it, of course, but I love it. When I'm in America, I have a Tesla.
I know Spitting Image. I've seen, it's funny,
itself.
The puppets.
So it has an autonomous mode. So it's wonderful when you have friends. You can scare the living daylights out of them by being on the freeway, and then they don't see you. You just pull the stalk back 3 times to go into auto drive, and then you just think, oh, we've got a book. and they go, what, you keep your eyes on the road? No, I can't be bothered. And I'll look around the back, and it drives itself.
Another one you can do as well, good trick, is if your passenger...
Does touching the steering wheel take it out of autopilot? Because then what if someone reaches over and they, sorry.
And it drives itself. Another one you can do as well, good trick, is if your passenger falls asleep, which I hate, because you've got to do the driving and there's no one to talk to you. I wait till they start waking up again, and I close my left eye, and I just do that. I'm lucky, it's perfectly safe, but they absolutely... Wake up!
Brandon Fraser.
How long was that going for?
All right, love it, guys. Love Stephen Fry. Hope you guys are all doing well, and I will see you guys next time, all right? But I got to do Faulty Towers episode. Bye.